I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you've ever felt invisible or unnoticed, this video is for you. Now, up front, I want to go ahead and say that no matter who you are, what you're going through, you deserve to feel seen. And that's exactly what I want to emphasize on this video. However, I want to bring it back and really kind of focus on that through the lens of feeling unnoticed. If you're new here, my name is Mike. And if not, welcome back to my channel. So when we talk about the word unnoticed, this can mean a lot of different things, right? I want to break it down to kind of two simple categories. Category one is unnoticed in the sense that you almost feel invisible, right? Like you walk into a room and you feel like nobody literally notices you. You're unnoticed physically, your presence and things are not really included or whatever it may be in that regard. And then the second option, unnoticed, is more like, okay, maybe you're in the room and people see you, they hear you, they're listening to you, but they're not really paying attention or taking in what you are saying. So you're unnoticed even though you are heard at the same time. Regardless of whichever one it may be, it sucks. It doesn't feel good. Nobody wakes up and says, I want nobody to notice me today. I don't want anybody to see my effort, how much I care, what I want in my life. Nobody says that. It's because deep down, there's some part of us that wants to be noticed to some degree. Now, some of us want that more than others. I get that. We're all different. But at the same time, I think that if you sat there and said, I don't want anybody to notice me ever, I would probably call you out on that. I also believe that it's hard to admit that, to sit there and say out loud to yourself, let alone somebody else, hey, like, I don't feel noticed. I don't feel like anybody pays attention to me. I don't feel like anything I do matters. I don't feel like it's important or whatever else it may be. It's hard to say that out loud, right? Because it's a little embarrassing. I get that. I've been in your position. If you were feeling unnoticed to some extent, that's exactly why I wanted to make this video, because it's not fun to see people be in that position. You know, the first time I actually had the thought of the word unnoticed, I was taking a walk the other day, listening to some music. And for those of you who don't know, I'm a big hip hop head. I love rap music, always have my whole life. One of my favorite rappers is named G Perico. One of the songs he had was called Welcome Home. And I forget exactly how the lyric went, but he said something along the lines of, salute to the real ones. I'm not going to let you go unnoticed because I know how that ish feels. The whole part about I'm not going to let you go unnoticed because I know how that feels, it struck a chord with me because I'm the same way. I spent a lot of my time in my life feeling unnoticed by some of the people that were the closest to me. And it's not a good feeling. And when other people are around, especially ones that you trust with, you know, a lot of things, maybe your life or anything else you have going on, when you feel like you're unnoticed by them, it affects you. And it's not fun. It's not something good. And I wouldn't wish that on people that I don't like because of how that feels over time. I'll give a brief example of how feeling unnoticed in my life has caught up to me and how long it took me to get to the point of really kind of seeing what was going on. Because all this stuff is really tied into self-awareness. When I grew up, I've mentioned this before, but I was part of a military household. So every couple of years we picked up and moved around and did different things. Because of the nature of this, my father was always very busy with work. So even in the time that I did get to see him, it was very minimal. It was at home. And I essentially felt unnoticed because it was never like, check in on him. What does he care about? What's he want to do? What's going on in their life? I felt unnoticed in that regard. On the other side, my mom was there all the time. She listened to me. She heard me speak and the words coming out of my mouth, but it was like in one ear, out the other. And it was kind of like, yeah, I'm physically here, but it was like unnoticed in terms of everything else I care about or what I'm actually trying to say in a different way. So kind of the two examples I gave up front about feeling unnoticed are things that I felt even at a young age. And it wasn't until I was much older that I kind of started to see this perspective for something that I didn't think it was initially. So when we talk about feeling unnoticed and what this can do, it can affect you your whole life if you don't let it. So when you look at things like this video that are really geared at trying to get you to snap out of it and see what's going on, the whole intention is not to turn you into a different person and make you something you don't want to be. It's to kind of get you to take a step back out of your own situation to see what's going on so that you can take any appropriate steps that you need to in order to move forward from that instead. So when we fast forward later in life, the moment that I really realized that I had went a lot of my life feeling unnoticed, and this is just an example of my parents, which I love both to death. This is just an example. I want to make it real because even if you can care about someone so much, you can still have some of these dilemmas or some of these issues and things that happen. You know, as I move forward in my life, now I think I was probably back in my mid-20s. And I remember having a conversation at some point with my father. And I realized in this conversation, if somebody came up and said, hey, I will give you $1 million, the only thing you have to do is name one single name of one of your son's friends. Just name one name and that's it. We'll give $1 million. I don't think he would have got it because I realized at those moments, my father doesn't know any name of my friends, can't name the names of my girlfriends that I've had, doesn't know my hobbies, my interests, anything else and such too. And when you have a moment like that, it shocks you. Even if you kind of have an idea to think maybe you are going unnoticed by this certain person or the community or whatever else, like I was mentioning up front, when you really have that validation to sit there and say like, wow, this person has noticed nothing. They don't know anything about me. They don't pay attention. It hurts whenever you have people say these things or show this to you, but it's so much harder when it happens from the people that you perceive to be the closest to you, especially if this is your family, right? Now, I'm not saying all this to be some sob story or something else like that. The reason I'm even saying this is because a lot of people are dealing with these issues of feeling unnoticed. A lot of people are dealing with these issues of feeling unnoticed from their own families or for people that are close to them. It could be your romantic partner or some of your best friends or whatever it may be. I do not think that the people that don't notice you are doing anything necessarily intentional. Like, I don't think they're intentionally trying to hurt you or mess up your life or do something like that to you. But I think it does happen. I think it's important in moments like that to realize that when you take that step back and look at things, don't only look at your situation, look at everything. Because a lot of people, they don't notice themselves. So if you don't notice yourself, how are they going to notice you? And I'm not trying to make excuses for the people, but I'm trying to give their perspective to understand that when you see the bigger picture, it becomes a lot easier to understand where you should or shouldn't feel bad and what you should or shouldn't let affect you. A lot of times when I'm talking to people and I ask them, like, what are you passionate about? What do you care about? What are your goals in life? Like, what do you want? Anything. It's amazing the amount of times people just don't know the answers to these. They don't know what they're passionate about. They don't know how they spend their time. They don't know what they care about. They don't know what they want in their life. I would kind of bring this back to the whole point where a lot of people don't even know how to notice themselves. They don't notice the things that they do care, they gravitate towards, that they have an affinity for. So when people struggle with this, how do you expect them to notice things with you? And no, like I said, this is not to excuse their behavior. But what I'm telling you is that instead of looking at it as a personal attack or feeling as if you're completely not seen or not noticed by people, I think it's important to sit there and be realistic and say, does this person that I want to notice me even notice themselves? Like, this person could very likely walk around every day doing things and not even realizing that they're doing things that aren't in their own best interest and that they're affecting themselves too. So it's harder for someone to be a bigger person, step outside their situation, look at you and believe in you and notice the things that you do when they have a hard time doing that for them. I think a lot of us at the end of the day are just trying to do the best we can. And sometimes the best we can do or other people can do around us is not up to the standards for what we want. And I get that this is harder because you sometimes put expectations on family or people that are close to you because you think these are people who are supposed to notice me, they're supposed to care about me. Unfortunately, life is not fair, and that's just not always the case. There really is only, at the end of the day, kind of one simple thing you can do. That's kind of bringing it back to what I was just speaking about. You have to notice you. If you don't notice you, if you don't notice what you do and don't like, what you are and aren't working for, what you do and don't want in your life, how is somebody else going to notice that instead? When you take the emphasis off of being noticed by other people or letting all of their thoughts and opinions be the things that control everything that you do in your life, you realize very quickly that it all starts with you noticing you. Because once you can clearly define, I'm not like this, I'm like this, I don't like that, I like this, I don't stand for this, I stand for that, it's so much easier for people to see that too. And it's very easy to go your whole life and keep doing everything the same way you have and feel as if you're unnoticeable. And then it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that ends up happening and never changes. The hard thing to do is to really stop. Say, you know what? I'm going to start noticing me. I do like this and I don't like that. I don't stand for this and I stand for that. And pick in those things. And when you're solid in that, and when you notice all the things that you do and you work on your own self-awareness, you'd be amazed at how many people start to follow too. Or better yet, they take a little bit more of a deep look within themselves and they realize, wow, like I don't notice these things either. I stand by what I said here before in saying that you deserve to feel seen. And you do. The caveat and the trick to that is that first and foremost, you deserve to be seen by you, not by me, not by your parents, not by your friends, or anybody else and such too. It's great. And if they do see us for who we are, I think that's fantastic. You want to surround yourself by people like that in life. But at the end of the day, you deserve to be seen by you. You deserve to be noticed by you. And when you get to a point where you're confident in being able to say that out loud, that you do notice you, you'd be amazed at how many people will follow and you'll start to get a little bit more of what it is that you want, which is being seen. Validation is not the most important things to get from people. Someone telling you did a good job or giving their opinion about what you did or what you care about is not the way you should live your life and make that the only emphasis. But kind of like I said before too, a lot of us just want to be seen. We want to be noticed. We want people to see that what we care about matters and see us for who we are. So it's this kind of tightrope walking where you don't want to lean too much in the validation, but you want to do everything just for you too. So do the things that matter for you. Live the truth out for your life as you see fit. And when people start to see that you are doing that for you, that you are confident who you are, you see you for you, it will inspire them. It'll help you out. And I think a lot of these perspective problems and the setbacks and things that we go through will start to dissipate too. The alternative is to not do any of that and is to keep emphasizing, I don't feel seen by them. I'm not being noticed by any of these people. And what happens is if you don't try to notice yourself and get away from that narrative, you start to internalize that. And if you internalize that long enough, you can live a long life of these sad memories and the things that make you feel like you're unnoticed. And when you internalize those, that becomes the narrative that you run with instead. So now instead of sitting there saying, I notice me, I care about me, and I know where it is I'm going in my life, you're focused on, they don't see me. My parents think I'm into this. They think I'm incompetent. They think I can't do this, whatever it may be. You start to sit there and not only add fuel to the fire, you don't notice you on top of other people not noticing you too. And you're just digging yourself a little bit further into that hole. Get out of that hole. Don't doom yourself for things like that. I know how hard it is, believe me, to start getting to a point where you notice you. But when you notice you, you'd be surprised at the things you start to uncover. So we all think we know ourselves very well. When you start doing that work, you'd be amazed at the person that's really underneath all those layers that you probably covered it up with over all the years. At the end of the day, you are not alone. I see you. I may not physically see you right now. I'm looking at a camera, but I see you and I'm here. For anybody that sits there and tells me they need to be seen, I know what that feels like. I know how hard that is. And I don't care if you're in a place where not one single person is around you in your life right now that makes you feel seen. I promise you, I see you. And if you're still struggling or feel like you just need someone to hear you, you just want to send a little note or have a quick conversation, is there anything else I can provide for you too? The link for my Instagram is now down below in the description. And I did also go ahead and put it on my page there too. Don't judge me or anything too. I did have other Instagram accounts and things before, but I ended up essentially just taking them down and started this new page fresh too. So it's a small page, but we'll build it up over time and I'll start posting a little bit more there regularly. Use it as a means for if you're still at a point where you feel like I need to be seen or I'm struggling or I'm completely unnoticed and I just need someone to notice me and do that. I don't care how much time it takes or whatever it may be. DM me on Instagram. Let me know. I'm there for you. I hope this helped in some way shift your day into a little bit of a better spot. If anything else, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm going to see y'all here in the next one. Take care. Peace.